So just to everybody online, the one camera I was having issues with, so you might see a little bit of a new angle tonight on Zoom. So I'm not Spielberg, but I'll try to do my best.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, call this meeting to order. Stand for pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. Meeting being recorded via Zoom. The death will related to the township to panel for the other. The board met in the executive session to discuss personnel. Before we start, is there any public comment? Other matters? Yeah.
You have microphones? There's a microphone, you need to talk loud. How's that sound? Loud and clear?
Yeah, I think you're good.
Good evening, my name is Terry Morris. I'm a resident of the East Goshen Township. I'd like to thank the board for their consideration of a draft resolution that supports the volunteer work of Falun Gong practitioners to raise awareness of forced organ harvesting in China and how it affects us here in the US through transplant tourism and undermining our medical system. I understand that this is not a typical township resolution, and you might even be asking, why would we even propose a resolution like this? I'd like to provide a little background to information. Falun Gong or Falun Dafa is an ancient practice from China. It was first introduced to the public in 1992 by Mr. Li Hongzhi. It combines meditation and gentle exercises similar to yoga or Tai Chi, and guides one to elevate one's moral character by following the principles of truthfulness, kindness, and tolerance. The practice became very popular in China. The Chinese people were reconnecting with their traditional value that had nearly been destroyed by the Chinese Communist Party. Many high-ranking Communist Party members were practicing as well. It was awarded, recognized, and supported by the Chinese government. Healthcare costs were declining, and the government reported that the society was becoming more stable. However, in July 1999, the Chinese government estimated that in 7 short years, 100 million people were practicing. The leader at that time became threatened by the practice's growing popularity and return to traditional culture. He then launched a nationwide campaign to eradicate the practice. Millions since that time have been detained, imprisoned, tortured, and even killed for their organs. To fuel a multi-billion-dollar transplant industry in China. However, in 2001, Wall Street Journal reporter Ian Johnson won a Pulitzer Prize for his series exposing the Chinese government's brutal persecution, detailing violence, propaganda, and arrests. His award-winning work cost him access to China. In another case, the former New York Times correspondent testified that her attempt to report on forced organ harvesting was killed by her Times reporter, or editor, I should say. Writing this brought me back to a childhood memory I recall my older sister walking down the street with her notebook in hand. She was on her way to interview a neighbor of ours from Germany, who, as a young woman, lived through World War II. She was preparing to write a school report about the war and the Holocaust. I remember her coming home with a very heavy heart, and I asked her why. She said that when she started to ask our neighbor about the Holocaust, she firmly replied at the time Hitler was good for Germany's economy. As mainstream media continues to be silent and even wittingly or not publishes the Chinese regime's propaganda about the practice here, our volunteer work and to tell the truth, reaching out to every segment of society is necessary. Our purpose is to save lives. So we will continue for as long as we can and for as long as it takes. One of the most important levels of government is the township level. That is the grassroots level. That is the heart of the community. And so we deeply appreciate the privilege of speaking to you. I'd like to conclude with a quote from the executive director of the nonprofit organization, Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting. He said, if the death of each Falun Gong practitioner through forced organ harvesting is answered by 10 or more people learning about the persecution and the practice, then the CCP's efforts to silence and eradicate them is reversed and becomes absurd. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Terry. Terry's referring to a resolution that she submitted to us for consideration, and we had a lot of things on this agenda, and at the time it was not something that we could consider. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is William Huang. I'm a senior electrical engineer living in Pennsylvania for a U.S. company. As a surviving victim of the Chinese Communist Party's persecution campaign against the Falun Gong, I'd like to thank the East Ocean Board for allowing me to speak and share my experience as a prisoner of conscience in the labor camp in China for totally 5 years. I began practicing Falun Gong in 1998 while pursuing a PhD degree at Tsinghua University in Beijing. It is often referred to as the MIT of China. From July 1999, the brutal persecution against Falun Gong started. My life was abandoned. For refusing to renounce my belief, I was arrested and then imprisoned for a total of 5 years in a labor camp in Guangdong province. During that time, I experienced ongoing abuse and severe torture. During one protest of harvest, I was forced to squat for 3 whole days. My leg always broke. Then later on, I was handcuffed behind my back and forced to kneel before hundreds of other inmates. Then I was shocked with over 10 high voltage electrical terms. I nearly died. I was also subjected to forceful brainwashing, constant surveillance, humiliation, beatings, 30 days of sleep deprivation, and almost 1 year of physical isolation. The psychological torments I endured was beyond imagination. In the detention center, I was forced to perform 18 hours a day for the slave labor. In the cell, only about 30 square meter, about 250 to 300 square feet, something like that. Over about 20 other inmates all live there and do the slave labor. We're forced to make all kinds of fancy stuff like artificial flower for decoration, the Christmas tree light chain, the toys or necklace for women, and even we were forced to process nuts. At the beginning, the nuts shell is closed by the cell. We have used pen tool to process that food. These items became soaked with our blood, sweat, and tears, even pus from hand blistering. Years later, when I arrived in US, I saw the exact same products we made in the labor camp were sold here, marked made in China with a very low price. This is why I would say this persecution of Falun Gong is real and tangible, and also not thousands of miles away. It could be related to everyone here as well. My personal experience, just the tip of the iceberg. Over 30 of my schoolmates at Tsinghua University were imprisoned for practicing Falun Gong. Even some of them lost their precious life from the torture. For 26 years, millions of Falun Gong practitioners have been suffering such a severe persecution every day in China until today, and many have fallen victim to forced organ harvesting. Here on US soil, unfortunately, the Chinese regime has extended its repression against Falun Gong, thereby threatening our precious First Amendment rights. As I have to come to learn, this land of East Goshen Township is part of the tract of land purchased by William Penn. His story resonates with my heart since he too endured brutal persecution for his faith and sought refuge here for freedom of belief. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity to share my personal story. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wang.
Well, thank you very much for letting us speak and being here on the verge of the holidays. I do wish everybody happy holidays with joy and peace. I want to speak a little bit on the same topic, but from different perspectives. So my name is Alex Luchansky. I was born in Ukraine, 2 hours away from the border of Poland. I heard somebody's relatives were from the Poland, so mentioning that. I'm of Jewish heritage and I'm a grandson of a Holocaust survivor. I'm proud to be United States citizens and a great country, the best country to be in. The Chinese Communist Party has been brutally persecuted, as we learned. Practitioners of Falun Gong, which is a spiritual meditation practice in the Buddhist tradition, for over 25 years, since 1999. It's over a quarter of a century. The independent investigators and organizations have documented systemic human rights abuses, including forced labor, torture, we just heard about it, as well as the state-sanctioned forced organ harvesting. And each one got a report detailing that, so you can review it at a later time if possible. And more recently, as we heard, the Chinese Communist Party launched the new campaign to repress Falun Gong on the United States soil, using the death threats, frivolous lawfare, manipulation of our own media, mainstream media. The Chinese Communist Party uses these means to attack Americans, American companies, and American communities. And this is what is called as acts of transnational repression or even terrorism. They even threatened United States federal level representatives to give us room or speak at the Capitol, which is very bad. Make no mistake that this concerns every one of us, and this is a use case, a test case. What happens if the CCP can do this to Americans who practice Falun Gong? It can go after any United States group, company, or citizen. So this means that you or I can be next, or our company. They can target us as well. And the communist regime that has killed over 60 million Chinese people since it took power in roughly 1949 can do that to us. So we need to stop it. The First Amendment guarantees our right to believe in peaceful practice our faith. It does not arbitrate to scrutinize, criticize, or discredit any belief system. Our God-given right to believe is what is defended. Unlike the foreign countries that people of faith have fled, our First Amendment guarantees that beliefs themselves are not put on trial, which is very important. The resolution that has been put forth would reflect this township's commitment to stand firm in safeguarding our Constitution, pledging to always remain vigilant to protect our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This foreign adversary, the specter of the Chinese Communist Party, is a godless entity that intends to infiltrate every level of our society, to destroy our country and the precious values we hold so dear. And we given Pledge of Allegiance recently, in the beginning of the meeting. In my opinion, there can never be enough resolutions of this kind. Freedom is never free. We must defend our right to freedom of speech and the freedom of belief. As we are doing here tonight, or we could forfeit the privilege to defend our rights and ultimately lose our precious country. So please, let's stand together and make sure we defend that important freedoms. Thank you very much for letting me speak, and I do wish you a wonderful holiday.
Thank you. Thank you as well, Alex. I want to thank all of you for coming myself. I appreciated the opportunity to be at the film screening of state organs, and I would encourage the new board to consider the resolution in the new year.
Any other comments? One up.
Haven't seen the board in a couple of years and I know the gravity of your agenda better now than I have for 2 years after that. Mike Lynch, Goshen Downs, Upton Circle. I, in wishing you season's greetings, I wanted to particularly thank Michelle and John. Michelle Truitt, John Herzog, for your service, your dedication, your commitment these last 6 years. As a former board member, I certainly know how much you do, how important it is, and the commitments that you've made. We shared our years together, and we were able to accomplish many things and had a great relationship. I will say this, and I'll say it to you frankly. I know you were disappointed not to be reelected. I didn't vote for you, but that's not because I don't like you. And the main reason is that I like to see fresh faces on the boards in local government. We have 6-year terms. Has nothing to do with my relationship with you guys and how much I appreciate you as individuals and human beings and the service you put in. I see you have one item on the agenda. I'm not going to be here for that. But as the new board comes together later on next year, I certainly support an updated comprehensive plan as I've advocated previously. And the other item would be when the new board convenes, if they would think about reconstituting the Futures Committee. I think it has value in preparing for the future is one of the tenets of the East Goshen brand is, if you will. But mainly it was to thank you, Michelle. You put in a lot of work, a lot of effort. John, particularly the work with the police, with the WEGO, the unions, tedious, very difficult, and you know it well. You were in the trenches for that and accomplished a lot. So I wish you the best. I'll see you out there in the neighborhood, but thank you for putting down for local government here in Stoughton Town.
Mike, thank you very much for that. We got a lot done.
You sure
We
did.
really got a lot done.
You sure did, and I appreciate it.
We'll talk.
And and I stayed away from you too. I stayed distant. So that was, but I wanted.
We knew we could contact you anytime.
Know where you live.
Thanks.
Right, any other comments tonight? If not, moving on to emergency service reports with WEGO Chief Dave Lee.
Oh,
What?
Chief, hello, hey, Chief.
Good evening, thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah. It's not.
So for the month of November, the West County East Goshen Police Department handled a total of 2,035 calls for service. Specifically in East Goshen, we handled 1,020 calls for service. As of November 30th, total calls in East Goshen Township Police Department handled were 12,011 calls. Year to date, as of November 30th, the police department total has handled 22,314 calls for service. So just some of the calls that officers responded to and handled in November were 13 animal complaints, 11 police alarms, 12 frauds, 19 motor vehicle crashes, 7 domestic disturbances, 5 harassment incidents, 9 suspicious conditions, 7 mental health incidents, 9 township ordinances, those being 1 burning, 1 noise ordinance, and 7 soliciting complaints. 17 well-being checks, 1 rape report, 2 simple assaults, 1 theft report, 21 traffic-related reports or problems. Officers also conducted 556 proactive incidents, 111 of those being traffic stops, the remaining being patrol checks, business checks, screen checks as such. The breakdown of all the incidents that the department handled in November can be found in the agenda packet for the December Police Commission meeting, which should be uploaded here shortly, the next day or two. Although not specifically in East Goshen, this incident didn't happen, it occurred in Westtown, but we see across the region when theft from motor vehicles occur, it's just not one township, so I'm going to include, you know, there were none in East Goshen, but we did have 6 in Westtown that took place in November. Our criminal investigations division is currently working with other police departments in the county that also had similar thefts from vehicles, and they are currently in the process of identifying a suspect in those cases. So, one thing we continually remind our residents is to lock their vehicles at night while they're in their driveways. Remove any valuables from your cars, because that's what these people are looking for. Most likely they're not going to break out your window, they're going to look for unlocked cars. It's just easy, quick, they can get in and out, get grabbed, whatever you have in there in a matter of seconds. So there's a nationwide program, or if you want to call it that, many neighborhoods and communities go by, and it's just called it's just simply called the 9 p.m. routine. And that is every night at 9 o'clock, just make it a habit of making sure your car's locked, anything's removed from your car. Just like any other routine, we just do it every day. Michelle and John, on behalf of the police department, we'd also like to thank you for your service to East Goshen Township, specifically your time with the police commission. Obviously, I wasn't chief when you run the police commission, but I was in the command structure. Appreciate your service to our department during that time.
Thank you. Thanks so much, David. Appreciate that.
And lastly, on behalf of the West County East Goshen Regional Police Department, we wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season. Happy New Year. We remind all of you and all of our residents, if you're going to go out and celebrate with family and friends, please, if you're going to consume any alcohol, please use a designated driver or utilize a ride share service. We want everybody to remain safe and happy with their family over the holidays. So thank you.
Hey, I have one question.
Sure.
Over on Clock Tower, one of the residents was concerned about the landscapers leaving the trailer out on that road. I've driven by it a couple times when out in that way when I've been out there. What's the policy, procedure, or law on that? It's kind of a narrow spot over that hill where they park on the right side across from the houses right there.
So is it there temporarily or is
It's
it
well,
there
it's temporarily, but I think they were doing work in a lot of the houses there, so it ended up being there all day. So I know landscapers do it all the time.
So my recommendation would be if there was like a site blockage there, if there's a resident that can't get out, can't make the turn.
No, it's not that. It's just they're parked on the bank. There's a bank. The white line's like a foot from the bank, maybe. So pretty much a trailer blocking the entire road.
Yeah, so if they're blocking the entire road, I would recommend just calling our department. We'll come
Well,
out.
yeah, they should have called the police. Yes, we were notified.
Most likely, most times what we'll do is if it's blocking any.
Yeah.
Pathway, we'll make contact with the driver, ask them to move the trailer to another location to open it up.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times myself. I didn't think much of it, but someone complained about it. They should just call you guys. That's
Yeah,
really
we'll come out and evaluate.
yeah,
Try to hopefully get it moved. It's making a problem, causing a problem.
sure. All right, just wanted to know what the procedure was. Thanks.
You'll have to come up to the, sorry, you'll have to come up.
Anything else? You okay?
Good.
Any other questions? Cody, you have a question?
See you Friday.
All right.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
see you
much.
Friday.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, thanks. All right, Grant, Ocean Fire.
Hey Grant, how are you tonight?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, it's good to see you.
So for the month of November, the Goshen Fire Company responded to 80 fire calls, which is well above our average. These are about 60 last couple months now, so very busy. 37 fire police calls and 432 EMS calls. We had 37 fire calls in East Goshen, 19 fire police calls in East Goshen, and 189 EMS calls in East Goshen. Major incidents for the month, we had a minor house fire on Park Avenue on November sixth, we had a building fire on Bantry Drive on 11/6. We assisted Westchester with a house fire in Thornbury on 11/10. And assisted Wineville Fire Company with a house fire on 11/20. As I said, we are probably gonna have one of our busiest years this year when we close out in December. We've already surpassed last year's. It's getting busier and busier for us. Just a couple of notes, we're wrapping up our 15-week club raffle, we have 1 week left. And then, our subscription drive, EMS subscription drive letters are in the mail. And so far the response has been good, but it's still too early to tell. We're gonna have a target, so. On behalf of the fire company, as Dave said, just want to wish everybody a happy and safe holiday season. Please, call us if you need us, but I hope you don't need to. And Michelle and John, thank you for all of your support over the years.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much, Greg. Have a
Thanks,
good night.
Grant. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, Grant. Malvern, you fellowships. Thank you.
No.
No,
Good fellowship here.
Oh,
Your phone was there.
Oh, I didn't see Chaz.
that's.
Snuck in.
Good evening, Chad Bergen. I'm the Executive Director and EMSG from Good Fellowship Ambulance. I'm actually here tonight to talk about our contract. Since I'm here, I'll give an update. So, as of the end of November, we responded to 803 total calls, 56 of them in East Goshen Township. It's about 7% of our total call volume. As a reminder, Good Fellowship provides the advanced life support for East Goshen Township today. Overall, the volume's been trending down in East Goshen in the last few months. At year end, I still think you'll be above 2024. Overall, our volumes are increasing. That's what we're seeing across the board. With the expansion to West Whiteland Township this year will certainly be our busiest year ever. Any questions on the report? I'll have a couple of things to cover. Yep. Our board of directors did approve our 2026 budget, which our municipal advisory board will review this Thursday night at our meeting. That municipal advisory board is comprised of a representative from every municipality we serve. Currently, that is Michelle and Derek that represent East Goshen at that body. We did provide our completed 2024 audit as well today to the township, so they have that to review. Earlier this year, we received a grant from Senator Committa and Senator Kane to purchase an ATV that's capable of pulling an ambulance stretcher. And that's intended to access areas that the ambulance can't get to. Its first call that was dispatched to was actually the shooting at Lincoln University. I went down there to assist them with a lot of traffic access issues. And since then, we actually used it twice since the snowstorm to access driveways that weren't plowed to get to that. So it's worked out really well. On a trailer? Yeah, it's towed by a trailer. So, and then last but not least, the only other thing we had is we opened our second station in West Whiteland Township, which was our 6th total regional station. That's at Boot Road and Pottstown Pike. So there's a geographical benefit to East Goshen, right up Boot Road. That's kind of the intent of that. So that's been open since mid-October. So far, so good. That one is staffed 8 a.m. till midnight, 7 days a week. So any questions at all?
How do you figure out where to put them? Stations.
Where we can. So part of our agreement with West Whiteland Township was they provided the facilities to us. So they provided 2. One of them is at West Whiteland Fire Company, and the second one is at Boot Road Park, which is the township owned property. So
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
again, happy holidays, everyone. Thank you, Michelle and John, for the support over the last few years. So we really appreciate it. You guys have invested a lot of time in learning our challenges. And I certainly appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you, Chaz. Have a nice holiday season.
Okay, there are no public hearings tonight. There's the financial report
Thank
as
you.
of November 30th, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In lieu of Dave not being here tonight, I'm going to take this one to start. I also have Kelly Brophy with me, who's in the finance department as well. So we can put our heads together if there's some questions with this or the treasurer's report. If there's anything we cannot answer on the spot, we will give you an answer as soon as possible. So as of November 30th, net of pass-through, the general fund and preliminary year-to-date revenues is $12,231,016. And expenses of $11,633,444, and that's a net result of $596,572. As of November 30th, the entire general fund balance was $6,448,055. So right now, we are still currently on track to meet budget with small surplus.
Any questions, comments? All right. And moving on, we have the approval of minutes and the treasurer's report. November 18th, 2025. Treasurer's report, 13th. To December 11th.
Chairman, I would like to,
Yeah, you-
would I make a motion
Yep.
to approve the minutes of Tuesday, November the 18th?
Second motion.
Any questions, any questions, public comment? If not, all in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you. Barbara? Barbara?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, old business review.
We have proposed treasurer, proposed payment of bills.
I can do that. You said it, I didn't.
Treasurer's report,
Ah.
yeah, November 13th to December 11th. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we do have two different proposed payment of bills tonight for a vote, and I'll explain why. So general fund expenses include the monthly WeGo contribution, professional services for the WeGo Chief of Police Search, annual software expenses, vehicle maintenance, repair, highway materials, road line striping, building maintenance repairs, park and rec programs, events, maintenance, insurance, Brandywine SPCA annual fee, recycling e-waste event, hazard waste collections, and routine operational expenses. So expenditures from the capital reserve fund included $20,000 for chipper payment. This was for the months of November and December, and then $1,000 to install new cameras at the township building. So that is my summary, and if there's any questions, we can ask.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have one question. In regards to the Hershey's Mill Technology Committee, January 2025 meeting advertising for $350.
Mhm.
Do we have any idea what the Hershey's Mill Technology Committee is?
Yeah, I have to check that out. I don't know exactly off the top of my head what it's referring to, but some of these line items have been in place and things have changed name wise. So I will get back to you on that for sure.
Thanks. Then just one other comment. With our surplus, we did the same thing last year. What we do is we pay in advance our January contribution to the police department. So we're still going to have a contribution at the end of this year, even though we're paying next year's January contribution of $504,000. So just want to make sure, point that out.
All
I
right.
thought you told me that the surplus would be split up among the members of the board.
Not this year, maybe next year, John. But Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the receipts and approve the expenditures as presented in the expenditure register and summarized in the treasurer's report.
Second motion.
Any questions or comments on it? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Barbara?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay,
Okay, so thank you.
Next.
So we have, again, proposed payment of bills. This is one in particular that's from a while ago. And it is one that only 4 members up here can vote on. Having to do with the Paley Pike Trail, legal back and forth from, at this point, 4 years ago, not longer. So Mark can explain a little bit more, but there was just some paperwork issues that we were informed of, and there was some work to do in order to file it correctly. Mike.
Yeah, there was documentation that was filed to essentially return the property several years ago, after the condemnation to the Hicks family. That wasn't quite done correctly, by previous council, and the Hicks family council was just looking to clean those issues up. So that's really all that has to do.
To that end, Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the receipt and approve the expenditures presented in the expenditure register and summarized in the treasurer's report. We did December 11th.
Second motion.
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's see.
I abstain.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so we
New
have.
business. Right.
Yep, we have review and possible approval of 1338 Morstein Road, AKA Schiffer Tract Residential Subdivision. This is one that's been on the agenda for a few times. There were some things to clean up and some things to figure out since if you listen to previous meetings, this is subdivision is in 2 different municipalities. which is rare. So there were some agreements that had to be worked out. We think we're pretty much there for possibility of approval tonight. So I will let counsel for Westchester University Foundation take it from here.
Thank you. Good evening, Brian Nagel on behalf of the applicant. Nice to see everybody happy holidays. Um, We had a number of open items which we've addressed. I don't think there are any open items of significance. But if there's questions, we'd be happy to answer those. Obviously, this is a 16 lot subdivision, 3 of which are located in East Goshen Township, 13 of which are located in West Whiteland Township. West Whiteland Township has already approved the subdivision and land development plan. The portion that's located in West Whiteland. And there's 2 waivers that go along with this that need to be approved along with the plan. Happy to answer any questions that the board has at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the preliminary final land development plan of 1375 Old Phoenixville Pike and 1338 Morrison Road for the Westchester University Foundation with the requested waivers granted, subject to the conditions recommended by the Township Fire Marshal, addressing all comments outlined in the Township Engineer's Review Letter dated November 13th, 2025, execution of the intermunicipal services agreement, and adoption of the associated resolution, adoption of an ordinance to establish a special sewer district for lots 6, 7, and 8.
I'd like to second that and thank Cody for reading all that.
So we have a second. Any other questions or public comment? I think someone on Zoom.
So, no, that's just somebody entering. I would like to say just the special sewer district ordinance that has to get passed is because East Goshen residents are flowing into the sewer of West Whiteland Township, so that required more paperwork and another ordinance, just in case anybody's confused on that. And that will not be passed tonight. We'll have to do that January or February.
All right, so then the questions I have, there were a couple things that are still listed as pending. One of the things that I wanted to get rid of was I wanted to get rid of the street trees that were proposed within East Goshen Township, which will be on page 4, number 22. It says resolved, 14 street trees are now proposed within East Goshen Township. We do not wish to own those trees. So do we have a letter that,
It's gonna be private.
is there,
Yeah, it's actually gonna be a private.
so we don't have to worry about owning those
There's
trees?
no, there's no right of way there.
That's perfectly fine.
I just wanted to add while you're looking, there was an intermunicipal agreement that was a draft that was proposed and worked on over the last 3 months. We do have a final version of that that's associated with provision of municipal services to the tracks in West Whiteland and East Goshen. That is a final version that West Whiteland will be considering for approval and they're okay with it as well. So that's been negotiated and finalized as part of the subdivision.
You worked on that and I appreciate that. So did Kelly Krause, who is here. But a lot of work was done by the planning commission. And they did a really good job.
I'll second that as well. Thanks for straightening out all of those questions that I had, especially regarding the sewer payment and what was gonna happen with that. I knew that was gonna be a little bit of an issue, so I'm glad that that was addressed. That was really all I had, was the street trees and the sewer.
All right. Any other questions?
Um,
We have a second.
Yeah, we already had a second.
All right. Then all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas.
happy holidays. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not changing anything.
No, I just,
Just getting
yeah.
my head wrapped around all this discussion we've had on these 2 houses that are in East Goshen or West Goshen. Three houses. Why didn't you just move the property lines to make it all, whatever township it is? I mean, guys spent a lot of money on lawyers, didn't you?
So,
Stuff.
I mean,
Yes, Lord.
so it came up, the question came up very, well, first of all, to me, I think the proposal should come from the applicant on how to do it. But that aside, I personally think that it was discussed, but it was pretty late in the game and we felt that we were pretty far along in this process to then reverse course and have to redraw jurisdictional lines. I mean, I don't know West Whiteland's position or the applicant's position, the applicant's counsel, but internally, I think that's what we felt.
It would have changed the East Goshen borders, and
That's
it
true.
would have been a little bit of a problem. But it's not just changing the borders, it's also changing everything for WeGo and for the fire department and for this and that. So many things we have to report to PennDOT, then who's responsible for these streets?
It would have also cost us some money in taxation.
Yeah, but I mean, did you spend more money trying to stop it? That's my question. How much money did you spend to try to stop this versus, oh, let's let it go? Because
We didn't have a choice.
taxes for sewer,
Yeah.
give it to them.
Well, it wasn't actually a proposal to modify the municipal boundary. It just happens that, there's 3 lots that are over the line for a development that has a cul-de-sac that's accessed exclusively through West Whiteland Township. So there really wasn't any need to actually move the municipal boundary when we have an agreement that expressly provides for the service.
Just curious. Yeah.
It's kind of the tail wagging the
In
dog.
addition to that, the township didn't spend any
Thanks,
money
guys.
to try to stop it. They were just trying to get it right. The developer reimburses the township for review fees and the fees for their attorney to prepare agreements and things like that. So that was all covered by the developer. When we get our final bills, they'll be paid by the developer. And I would say it's atypical to propose to move township borders. There's law in Pennsylvania that provides for how you deal with one project that crosses municipal boundaries. There's even law that provides for if you have a single lot that straddles the municipal boundary. Actually going back to the taxation issues, the taxation goes to the municipality where the primary bedroom is located. So this stuff is kind of well established. We did it the proper way. We proposed it the proper way, and the board prosecuted the application in the proper way.
It's not that funny when you get the application, I can promise you.
Few things, and Mr. Thompson and I still will have our hands full to get all these agreements right, because you've got agreements with 2 different municipalities that have to be finalized and recorded. So it's a lot of extra stuff, but we don't make the boundaries. It is what it is.
If anybody wants to see it, it's on this screen.
Yeah, I
here.
apologize. Only one TV is working tonight, but it's also online and I could send it to whoever would need it, but this is the cul-de-sac subdivision.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that.
And yeah, that was really great, but it's also the first time we've learned about this whole thing.
Thanks, Brian. All right, next is discussion, possible approval of the 2026 final all funds budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just give me 1 second. I'm
Yep.
pulling up the one sheet here, which I think summarizes pretty well the totality of the budget being proposed for all funds. So I just want to share that with anybody that's online as well.
What page is that?
This is actually just a different sheet. We kind of came up with today in order to kind of simplify what you're looking at, because this is all the funds we have and then the revenue expenses proposed for next year. So again, this is the proposal of the 2026 final proposed budget. We've gone over this a lot. The one thing we kept reiterating throughout the entire process, we were actually at 2% or less, I think, for growth in the budget from a non emergency response setting. So everything besides, police and ambulance, fire went up very, very small. But if anybody's been following the meetings, that's been a big hot topic for the last 3 or 4 times we talked about the budget was Goshen Fire, Malvern Fire, and Good Fellowship Ambulance, and really the struggle that they're having financially and all the municipalities having to chip in more. So that's really where much of the expense growth came for the general fund. And you can see the different funds that are listed there. Again, we can go through anything. I can pull up some other sheets that's in the packet, but we thought this gives a nice summary of exactly what we're doing next year.
Derek, could you just email that to all of us too then?
Yeah, I was actually gonna put it online. Yeah.
I mean, email to each of the.
Oh, yeah,
supervisors.
yeah.
It's really helpful,
Yeah.
sheet.
Mhm.
And to be clear, there's been nothing that we've changed since we discussed this back in.
So interestingly enough, we
November.
really, after September, we haven't changed any numbers besides the first responder numbers, and then the Malvern Library was a discussion as well, which we settled on a number for that. But as I said, I wasn't exaggerating. The last 3 or 4 meetings talking about the budget has just been honed in on that, and rightfully so, because it's obviously the increase is substantial compared to everything else. So
Well, I appreciate everybody's work on this. I think that supervisors had their input and we appreciate all the input from staff. And collating everything. Thank you, Kelly, for kind of putting this last iteration together for us. And I don't have any questions. So I'd like to make a motion and then we can, oh, there we go. I'd like to make a motion that we pass the proposed 2026 final budget as presented tonight and for the amounts outlined in the budget presentation for each of the township funds, including the general fund, liquid fuels fund, capital reserve fund, transportation fund, sewer operating fund, sewer reserve fund, refuse fund, good grief, bond fund, operating reserve fund, and the infrastructure sustainability fund. Good grief.
Second the motion.
I should have taken that from you, Cody.
Any public comment or questions on it? Well,
In this current budget that's for next year,
Next year.
is there more money to do these single trail to nowhere? Or are we all done with expanding the trail to nowhere?
So that's up to the new board in January.
So is there any money in this budget that you said,
there,
is there any money in that budget?
There's no-
Here for this stuff?
so there's no budget, there's no money right now allocated to Paley Pike Trail or improvements to the Paley Pike Trail. As John was alluding to, policy decisions change every year from board to board. So, right now, I can only tell you what's in this budget, and Paley Pike Trail is not in there for anything.
That's why it means very specific to this budget you guys approved. Then, is the TND project still in the books in East Goshen? Is it still a viable option? And is it in this budget?
So there's not really nothing to budget. The TND, and I was here after the TND, but that was a zoning concept, based on, I think, the 2015 comprehensive plan. Now, obviously with a comprehensive plan, you budget pieces of that plan in order to get the holistic view of what's being proposed, by the comp plan. So again, long way of saying it, but nothing regarding the 2015 TND proposal is in here for being proposed to start a project or anything like that.
Okay, but more specifically then, is it a dead project or is it still a available project to be redone with this new, with the new board?
I mean, the way I look at it, I think this is more of an opinion thing. I don't think anything's ever dead when you're looking at 5-member boards. I mean, I haven't had a conversation with the new in charge of the board. Specifically on that. But I think whether it's next year, 10 years from now, something could die for 15 years and then come back. I'm not just talking about this. I just think it's foolish to say that something's dead for good when policymakers change every 2 years. So that's just my opinion on it.
No, I wasn't sure. That's why I asked.
We'll just keep an eye on it. Well,
Yeah.
As an FYI, Derek puts an agenda out for each of these meetings. Each of these agendas have hot links in them. And the entire budget is in there each month. And Derek does a hell of a job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Well, any other comments or questions from anyone? Then,
Call back to.
Yep. then we need to call that to the vote.
We have to. We have to vote on that.
Right.
We do.
Yeah, all in favor. Yep.
We have the motion.
All in favor?
Motion second. Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. Thank you.
Passes.
All right,
Mhm.
Awesome.
New business, 2026 fuel bid.
So on December 2nd, as the memo says from Mark, open bids for the 2026 fuel contract. Results are listed. It looks like Rhodes Energy was the low bid. Again, that number is based on potential what we would use, correct, Mark? Yeah, rack price, yeah, rack prices, yeah. So this is again one of the bids we've been doing, opening up bids for several things for next year, as you saw on the last agenda with signs and different equipment. So this is yet another one we do every year for necessary fuel for the township vehicles.
Is there enough fuel that's been bid on if there were another? How much do you normally go through, Mark, in a year?
I don't know.
That's right. I'm just wondering if there's any, is there any room for expanding the number of gallons that you contract for?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we go over it, they don't penalize.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
It's just a,
Yeah,
you're
it's
playing
just
a rack price so much over the.
Yeah, yeah.
What is, you know what the rate over is? Price.
Well, Mark, you got an early start on this. The last few days.
Well, we have the very good
That's pretty good.
Wigan, and Rhodes is a spin-off Riley, with the spin-off of Riley one.
Yeah.
The family operations, and they treat us good.
Nah, that looks good. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the bid for Rhodes Energy in the amount of $26,135 for the 2026 fuel contract.
Any questions? Any questions, comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, 1344 Morstein Road, proposed 2-lot subdivision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the applicant's coming up with the engineer. So I will let him take over, but it's a lot simpler than the other plan we just talked about.
Good evening, thank you. Adam Brower, 70 Washington Associates. And yes, this is a 2-lot subdivision. You have a memorandum that Kelly put together December 10th. It summarizes it, but 5 acre and change property. It has an existing common drive, if you will, that does currently serve 2 other properties. That driveway would be widened to 20 feet. It's going to be made into a private road to meet the frontage requirements. So we have a 20-foot wide road. The new house, if you will, would have tie into public water and public sewer. We do have 2 waivers being requested to combine the process to preliminary / final. Also not require curbing on that private road. And there's a third one noted, and that's the 20-foot width versus the required 22. There is a code in your ordinance 44E2 that does allow the board discretion to go down to a 20-foot width. Well, if it's actually 20 foot if they're under an acre lots, 18 if it's over an acre. Now, these lots are over an acre, but we just want the 20 foot to make sure cars can pass. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the preliminary final land development plan of 1344 Morstein Road for the, am I reading the right one? Yeah, for the Westchester University Foundation. So it seems like
It's on Morstein again.
it seems like the same one I
Yeah.
just read 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Of the 1344 Morstein Road for the Westchester University Foundation with the requested waivers granted subject to the conditions recommended by the Township Fire Marshal and the outstanding items of the review letter dated December 12th, 2025 addressed the satisfaction of the township engineer.
Second motion.
Any questions or public comment? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, yep. Great. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 2025-13 authorizing Chester County to collect taxes on behalf of East Coast Township.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this was actually approved by a voice vote of the board, I think back in October, to continue with Chester County for tax collection services through 2026 for the same amount, same 2025 rate. The county just wanted a voice vote last year, but for some reason they have like 4 different documents and a resolution they want us to sign this year. So we had to come back and ask you to pass this resolution for something you guys already voted on.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pass resolution 2025-13, authorize the Westchester County Treasurer's Office to collect real estate taxes on behalf of East Goshen Township for the 2026 calendar year.
Second,
Any questions, comments?
Comment. I have
Yes.
a comment. I believe, and I'll address this to the audience. I believe we ought to be collecting our own taxes here, not paying the county to collect them for us. It's an expense that, when I came into office, we weren't paying, we were collecting it ourselves, and we probably should do that again. With that objection, I will vote for this because we need somebody to do it in the coming year.
There was some discussion about that, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. And that was my discussion.
Mona?
What is the cost to the township to have it collected outside? And how logistically would it be? How hard logistically will it be to get it reinstated internally?
So I think the numbers are close, but it's actually, so it's a little cheaper the first year to stay with the county because of this software package that we'd have to get. So if it was like 30,000, if it was like 27,000 to continue with the county, the first year would have been a little over 30 to get the new software package. But then obviously after you're paying the annual maintenance fee, it goes down substantially. So you'd have to talk about, to answer the question more directly, I don't think it's difficult. I think it's definitely something we've talked about for the last year.
There's internal costs as well.
There are internal costs, correct.
We won't have to hire new people.
Yeah.
We'll have to identify what that.
I said we won't have to hire new people. We have people on board who can do this. And not only that, this came up for discussion a while ago because the county kept raising their price.
right?
Yeah, they did not raise the price this year, which made it a little bit more difficult to switch right away, but they did raise it substantially a couple of years or 2 years ago.
But we also set aside money for the software upgrade for 2026
Mhm.
for this specific purpose, so that there could be a year requiring software, training on the software, and then implementing it in-house again. So we did talk about the plan for taking it back.
I was trying to, I don't want to take issue with not having hired people, but I don't know how you have people doing full-time jobs now that are gonna take on something that's different. And not have to hire somebody, so.
They had done it in-house prior with the same number of people.
It's often grown and
According to what they said, Jerry, the software does a lot of the work. If it's a problem, we can always change back, but I don't think it will be a problem.
you can do the work up front and not have to go back.
There'll be more discussion going forward in 2026 on this, I'm sure.
Sure.
To figure this out, which way we're gonna go. Just takes a little bit of time to get it right. So, that being said.
Mhm.
Then we're moving on
You
to,
call the motion.
we got call motion.
Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Thank you.
Hi.
Discussion, thanks, Barbara. Discussion and possible approval of the Good Fellowship Ambulance Company. GFAC contract for a 3-year term.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is also something that we discussed before, and the Good Fellowship Ambulance Company is looking for all the municipalities to sign a 3-year agreement or some sort of services agreement to make sure it's known that we're sort of continuing with them and that there's a certain amount of what we have to do, and it's definitely one of those things where they want to be sure that we're going to continue with them. We want to be sure. So it's some substantial. It really gives us a good sense of the word I'm looking for. Budgeting, but also planning. I can't think of the word. Sorry, been a long day. But anyway, Chaz is here to talk about it. There was some language changes that Mark Thompson and I did go through. that really think we're good with the 10% proposal a year. I know when people hear the number 10%, they're like, why are you agreeing to that, maybe? But first responder budgets have gone up substantially over 10% the last 5 years that I've been here. So it's something that probably, in my opinion, we should take a look at and agree to.
Yeah, we were able to build in some language where the good fellowship will come to the township and give the township ample opportunity to make a decision on whether or not they wanted to move forward with funding for that year. And there is, if it's more than 10%, then you can automatically cancel the contract.
Where do we put money in the budget for this?
Well, this would, so we fully funded Good Fellowship for 2026.
Yeah.
So that's taken care of, and now it makes it easier to budget for 2027 and 2028.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pass the medical services agreement with Good Fellowship Ambulance Company for 3-year terms outlined in the agreement.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I think this is a really great thing for us to do, in my opinion. It's important for our residents to know that they have not just reliable, but excellent standard of, it's just an excellent service that's provided by GFAC. So I appreciate the fact that we will be protected by knowing that we'll be there if we need you. So thank you for that.
Thank you. So going into 2026, Good Fellowship has a $6.4 million budget. 1.4 million of that is funded by the 10 municipalities we provide service to. We are just of a size. We now have 52 FTEs that we want to make sure we have the security of the municipal funding going forward. These type of agreement. 10 years ago, these were voluntary contributions. I'd say 15 years ago, Good Fellowship took in a total of $26,000 from all of our townships. We're up to 1.4 million next year. So it really shows you the increase, at least for us, over the last 10 years. And we're just at the point that we need to be in a discussion agreement to ensure that funding's there, to make sure we have the equipment and people training to provide the service.
What's your population increase,
With West Whiteland, we added about 20,000. So census population, we're at 110,000 people for the rest of this year.
No, this is good. Everyone needs to have a kind of an idea in the last couple of years where they're at, what they have to work with, not year to year. Come on up.
Sure. Great question. Overall, we only collect about 37% of what we bill out. Varies on different insurances. So I think the big change we've seen in the last 5 or 6 years, a lot of people are selecting high deductible plans, which do save money until you need to use the plan. Then you have a fully out-of-pocket expense. Medicare Advantage is another one. A lot of people go into Medicare Advantage plans that requires out-of-pocket if you use them. So we're seeing a lot of our patients shift to out-of-pocket expenses, and when the time comes, they don't have the ability to fund it. So that is part of the reason for these dramatic increases, to make sure the funding's there. Question.
Another part of the problem is that a lot of people will be reimbursed by their insurance company for the ambulance service that was provided for them in their emergency, and they just receive a check for $400, $500, $600, and they just assume that they're supposed to cash it. They should be turning it right over to the ambulance company. They don't do that, and that is part of the other problem. There's no recovery, and you really have to be careful about going after that money.
Mark, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, being with West Whiteland, these guys are top notch. I'm sitting back in my office, I listen all day long, and they're all over the county getting moved around. But it's a top notch. These guys, they do awesome work, awesome teamwork, everybody gets along. I just can't say enough about it.
Thank you.
Great.
I would like to say that I've experienced with the police and the fire department, and it's been wonderful. I also would like to question. I get.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. It's hard to hear you, and there's people on Zoom that can't hear you. Would you be kind enough? I'm so sorry. Your voice is just not gonna penetrate through. I'm sorry.
Great.
Good. We just need your name for the record, ma'am.
Well, I just want to mention that I received from the fire department at least 4 requests, I think, a year to contribute. And from the fire and from the police department for one. I always contribute to each and every one of them. But I'm wondering how many people do, and how much money you actually collect from, just goodwill people.
There's all this is, the subscription Grant talked about earlier. For East Goshen or Goshen Fire, that you can also join the subscription program. You have one also, right?
We do, and for East Goshen Township, you should donate and subscribe to Goshen Fire Company, who provides the ambulance service. We only provide the ALS, the paramedic service. So we don't do any mailers in East Goshen Township from Good Fellowship.
Oh, so you're not under the fire department?
Or not, yeah, your mailers.
Chaz,
from Goshen-
Chaz, explain to her what ALS and BLS
Sure.
are.
Certainly, it's the two levels of service in the EMS world, and, you know, the best way I always explain it, if you walk into an emergency room right now with chest pain, you're gonna see probably a nurse, a physician assistant, and a doctor. The more sick, the more hurt you are, that doctor's gonna spend more time and attention with you. Same way in the EMS world, we have EMTs and paramedics. So EMTs are on the BLS bucket, paramedics on the ALS bucket. The more sick, the more injured you are, a paramedic's gonna take care of you. So if you have a life-threatening emergency or a potentially life-threatening emergency, a paramedic's gonna be the one to care for you. If you have something that's
How
small,
do you know which one to send out?
so when you call 911, they're actually gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions, and depending on what you tell them is what they're gonna send. So, good question.
And BLS stands for basic life support, ALS stands for advanced life support. So if you were having a heart attack or stroke, they would want to send advanced life as well as basic. Yeah, but they'll send both.
But I'm wondering if people are, if the township people are good about sending something.
Yeah, so admittedly, we don't solicit in East Goshen Township, you know, back in Westchester.
And the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Goshen, I know, performs actually very well. It could always be better, of course, but, you know, I think this is becoming more and more of a public topic, not just in East Goshen, countywide. So I think more people are recognizing the need to donate, buy subscriptions, to also support the municipal funding.
Thank you.
Grant doesn't have that number, but he left it right. Was it 15% or 30%? It's not a lot.
It was low.
It's actually more than most. but-
Yes, it's very good,
Goshen does very well.
but it's not a lot.
Yeah, it could be better.
Yes, it could be a lot better. That would greatly help. All right, that being said, any other questions or comments? Come on up. Yes, it is.
No, I think it's our
And a
lucky day.
good reminder too. I thought I heard that the last time I was in a meeting where this, your company came up. There's one township that doesn't participate?
Yes,
No, I think you're talking about Malvern Fire, and that was East Whiteland.
East Whiteland.
East Whiteland,
Malvern
Fire
Fire.
Company.
yeah, sorry, Malvern
Not
Fire
ambulance.
Company, yeah.
Oh, it's not the Amos? Oh.
Well, they do
It's
ambulance, they do ambulance, but yeah, we're serviced by three distinct organizations. Good Fellowship, Malvern Fire, who does a very small portion, and then Goshen Fire Company, which does everything. Trust me, being from Philly, this was foreign to me too, so.
Well,
It's
we
all
participate in. You're from,
That's what we're just voting.
but
Yeah.
one township
That's
does.
what we're working on right now.
So that was, again, that was Malvern Fire Company's discussion, and that was apparently East Whiteland. This is all just based on our meeting and the conversations with the gentleman from Malvern Fire at the meeting, but apparently East Whiteland did not contribute anything, even though that they service East Whiteland quite a bit.
Now I remember, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll just add that, you know, again, we provide service to 10 municipalities around Westchester. All 10 of ours do fully fund us to what we ask and have for the last couple of years, and that's the case in 2026 as well.
We're ready and call vote.
Yes.
Hey, all in favor?
I,
Aye. Thank you.
that's,
Chaz has very good numbers. So.
yeah, Chaz is, he's on it. For sure.
We like them. All right, next up, 1538 and Drive, stormwater waiver request.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is one that comes up not often, but sometimes our ordinance, stormwater management ordinance does allow for waivers for requirements under different situations. Sometimes it is warranted. So the applicant here at 1538 Ann Drive is constructing a 1,623 square foot addition. to the expanded driveway by 244 square feet. The long and short of it is there was inadequate infiltration test results, and when you're looking at where you can add stormwater, you do these tests to see how well the water infiltrates. There was poor test results there, so the applicant requested that the stormwater inlets on the property satisfy the stormwater requirements. It was reviewed by Panoni. It was the site was looked at by Mark Miller, Public Works, so staff has no problem with it. Kelly, I don't know if I'm missing anything significant. But this was one of those situations that came up that we thought probably warrants a waiver.
I just wanted to know if there's not gonna be any runoff issue with a neighbor.
No, that's why we went and put the inlets in.
Perfect.
25 years.
Okay, all right, perfect, thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant waivers from the provisions of 195-20, 195-22, the stormwater management ordinance for the construction of an addition and driveway expansion exceeding 1,000 square feet of regulated impervious surface for the property located at 1538 and Drive.
Second motion.
Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, Barbara. Okay, next, Wiggins Christmas tree sales in a C1 zoning district.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is something that we're retroactively approving again for the second year in a row. Christmas tree sales, Mr. Wiggins has had this property and did sales there for quite some time. Under the C1 zoning district, it is allowed, but it does require conditional use every time that they do it, the temporary setup by the board. The last couple of years, he was not getting in front of it. So I did email Mr. Wiggins to have a conversation. I think we're both going to put some ticklers on our calendar next year and get it in for October. So I think staff wise, internally, we're okay doing this, but I think we definitely needed to revamp the process with him going forward.
Does this require a permit or any payment?
It does not. I don't think it does. No, it never did.
There's no permit fees associated with this, Kelly? The Wiggins.
This is the first one that I've seen, but, generally in the past, when I worked elsewhere, we have required a temporary, for.
I mean, we could look at the fee schedule for 2026, but he's definitely never paid it anything since I've been here.
Been here a long time.
Yeah,
Right. Does this require a motion?
does.
We'll just do that.
Mr. Chairman, I move that they continue selling trees at Wiggins Tree Farm located at 1301 Westchester Pike.
Second motion.
I got it. Any questions or comments?
That's a good question. I've never, yeah, I know, it's been, I know. Yeah, I can look into it. I can talk to, I don't know how it's set up as far as in the ordinance, so I could take a look at it and see if there's any other way around it. I don't like specific conditional uses like that, to be honest with you, so if there's something we can do, we can take a look at it.
Well, until that's changed, it's gotta be done by book,
Yep.
and I don't like it when people don't do those kind of things, so.
This is called no for account. Now for them. Well, question.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Standing issues or projects? Any other matter?
Under any other matter, I'd like to propose that we send the 2015 comprehensive plan down to the planning commission, over to the planning commission so that they can review it. And start working on a couple of ideas for when and if a consultant is brought into that.
I apologize, that was actually on the agenda. It wasn't on this, but it was on the public one. I don't know why you guys,
Oh, we didn't get that.
yeah, there's a different one here, but
Okay.
it was on the one online.
We don't
Yeah.
have that, so that's
Yeah.
not what under any other
Yep.
matter, so.
Comprehensive plan discussion, I apologize, it was added.
That's right. It was a busy week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was.
that's what I would like to see us move that down over to the, planning commission, just for them to review it, give them an opportunity for high level, discussions on that.
I support that. Do we need a motion?
You would need a motion.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to move the, 2015 planning and comprehensive plan, thank you, over to the planning commission for their higher level review.
Second,
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for you. Didn't we already do this?
Yes,
we discussed it.
discussed it.
I thought we said,
We discussed it a lot of times, so.
did we, I thought we sent this to,
I don't think we ever did
Planning.
talk about it.
Sent it to planning and then they sent comments back basically saying they wanted more specifics of directions of which way to go.
And we sent our suggestions to Derek and nothing happened with that, so.
Not everybody did that though.
Exactly,
Okay.
I know.
All right, so where are we at? We'll send it again. Resend it?
We sent
We
it.
sent it for high level review.
All right. Yeah, motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You got public comment?
Yeah, public comment.
Yes, I do.
Come on up.
David Chewy, Goshen Township. Michelle and John, you ran on a re-election platform that included a watered-down version of what's required by Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, Act 247, Title 53, Chapter 30, Article 3, Sections 301 through 306. Conversely, Dan and Larry ran on a clearly articulated platform that the future of East Goshen Township lies on the voice of the residents and not on the wish list of a few people. The residents spoke at the ballot box in support of a true comprehensive plan that will act as a guidepost for future development, determines the township's financial priorities in the future, and helps East Goshen Township chances of being awarded grant funding, which you can't get without a complete comprehensive plan. So this resolution is an attempt to erase the voters' wishes. And if you pass it tonight, I can almost guarantee it won't stand the test of time.
It's not a matter of watered down. The fact is that we can start it. We can start it internally, as we've been trying to do for the past number of months. And you can start it internally and then you get your consultant to come in. So that's what the intention is. It's nothing more, nothing less, just an internal review to begin the process. Nobody's wish list has been extended, and we'll leave it at that.
My name's Sarah, East Goshen Township. I'm gonna reiterate what David said, which is that Ann and I ran specifically on doing a full comprehensive plan. There are a number of benefits to a full comprehensive plan, but one of them is that it gets sufficient broad-based input from the residents of the township, the residents of the voters. And that's an important thing. It is, we want to make sure that the plan is not just a wish list from a handful of people. It's broad-based. It reflects the interests and the preferences of the residents of the township. And that's what the residents of the township voted for. It was the most important part of our platform. It was the central plank in our platform that we had lots of conversations. We sent out thousands of letters. The letters and emails, they all talked about doing a full comprehensive plan in 2026. And we knocked on thousands of doors. We spoke to hundreds of people at their doorsteps and in their homes. We spoke exclusively almost about doing a full comprehensive plan. And we had very supportive conversations, and we got support of the voters as they voted for us. So we are determined that the next board will in fact go for a full comprehensive plan and not just a wish list from a small number of people. Thank you.
Once again, there's no wish list. It's just simply passing the comprehensive plan over to the planning commission for review and high level consideration. That's not to say that that's going to do anything more than simply start the process. It allows internal review and then suggestions can be made to a consultant when and if they are brought in.
So. Yeah, come on up.
I really want to end this meeting on a positive note. I really did. I'm still going to do what I wanted to set out to do 3 weeks ago. This board that's here tonight has done more than enough work to try to cut back expenses and do everything. I didn't agree with everything you did, and we had plenty of arguments about it. But take that aside, I'm really proud of what you guys have done. And it's a shame that it's been tarnished in the past couple of minutes. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. Larry and Ann, I wish you the best. You're going to find that, everything you want to do costs money. It may look a little bit easier sitting down there than it does up here. But I do wish you the best. I live here, I pay taxes here, and I hope you do a real good job, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. I also think that some of the things we want to do may actually save us money.
That would be great. It's my money too.
Yeah, I agree with that. So.
Okay, we'll call a question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Opposed?
Nay.
Opposed? Alright.
Okay.
All right, any other public comment tonight?
I had two things, Mr. Chairman.
All right, committee.
I'll be brief.
Take, what?
No, hopefully I can end on a positive note here, at least for the township staff. I just want to thank John and Michelle for their service the last 6 years. Same thing, wish Michael and David well as their last meeting as well. No one understands, you know, the work and time that goes into supervisor. You don't do it to get rich. You do it because you love your community, and I appreciate the time that you put in the last 6 years. And then in addition to that, as it pertains to the holiday schedule this year, the township is only closed on Thursday, which is Christmas Day. The previous holiday schedule that we passed in January 11 months ago, we did not have the 26th, which is a Friday. Westtown, West Goshen, Euclid Township, Westchester Borough, East Bradford Township are already closed. So I'd like to propose that we are closed on Friday as well this coming week, next week.
Public comment?
Good idea.
I'm okay with it.
Sounds good to me.
That's a good idea, dude.
Why don't we just,
Lots of snips.
I was gonna say, why don't we just add the day after?
I think next year the holidays line up like July 4th is on a Friday. There's no like wonky like
Yeah,
Thursday or
this
Tuesday
isn't,
stuff.
this isn't gonna be an issue for the next few years. It's
Yeah,
the last couple
just
has been
for
bad.
this next Friday.
We have to vote, we don't have to vote on that, we just agreed on it.
Yeah, I can change it.
Barbara, are you good with that too?
Eric's
Agree. I'm good with that.
All right, any liaison reports? If not,
I think
correspondence?
Yes, I have a liaison report.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, one second.
So I just want to put a plug in for the work of the 250 committee that Jason and Jess are heading up. They're doing a great job. We're working with West Goshen. A lot of the materials for what is happening is already on the website. If you go to Parks and Rep and go down one link, there's a link for 250, and they're working on a QR code to post so that people can get to registrations for the various events through the QR code that will be posted at the park and at the township meetings and perhaps other places. Just a quick recap, not only will there be a big day, May 30th, with a parade and 2 band concerts and drones and fireworks and all kinds of public events for kids and food trucks, et cetera, but there will be an educational event at least once a month, starting in January, to help not only celebrate 250, but educate us about the Goshen's role in the Revolutionary War. So I would encourage you to go on the website, go on the link, see what they're doing so far. But most of the events are already in the works or completely planned. So the committee's been doing a great job, and I want to give a shout out and an encouragement to people in
in the building to go ahead and look at what's being planned. It's too much for me to go over in a short time tonight.
Yeah. Trevor's been very involved in that. Thank you for all of your work on that. It should be a really great, community event. I'd like to just take a moment to say a few words myself. And I know that there was a call to, bring back the Futurist. I'd like to actually, call to bring back the Historic Society, Historic Commission, especially in this, historic year that we're, approaching in 2026. I think that it's important to, look back to the history that is so rich here in East Goshen and make sure that it is memorialized. So that's one of the things I'd like to see happen in the 2026 year, early in the year. I just wanted to let the incoming board members know, I'm sure that they'll have a good time doing this, and I'm sure that they're gonna come into a lot of challenges. Like John said, everything costs money. It's shocking, isn't it? And it would be great if there are some money savings that you can realize for taxpayers, because we are taxpayers as well. We attended about 139 board meetings. No fewer than 125 liaison meetings between all the various meetings. I know that I attended at least somewhere in the vicinity of 50 police commission meetings. That would also include meetings with police officers. That would also be meetings with lawyers and whatnot. There's countless hours of preparing for meetings to do your research. So just make sure that you're prepared for that. There are a lot of hours meeting with staff and attending meetings outside of the township as well as the county, and going to state functions on occasion, and doing your ride-alongs with the police and ambulance. I can tell you that I didn't get rid of my emails. I have over 8,000 emails that I've received or sent in my time for the past 6 years. So that's a lot of communication with residents and staff and board members. So I appreciate my years on this board. It's been very educational and most of the time very enjoyable. And I've gotten to know a lot of really great residents. So I've got a lot of great friends walking out the door. So it's a good thing. So good luck moving forward. You
Come
can
on
step
up.
up.
Come on.
I'm Ann Duffield. I would like to thank both John and Michelle as well. I've lived in this township for a very long time. I brought up both of my children, who went to school at Fugit and East. Actually one of them went to school with Pete. He was 2 years ahead. But I want to thank both of them because I know the amount of work you put in. And we heard that as we went around and visited people. It is a lot of work, and I think both of us are prepared to do that. Both of us come from backgrounds where, frankly, I couldn't even tell you how many things I did when I was in my working career. I worked typically 6-7 days a week, and I worked very long hours and handled some very large budgets. So I feel very prepared to do this. I'm excited about doing it. It's actually giving me a sense of what public service is all about, and it means a lot to me. And one thing I pledge to all of you in this room and across our community is that this is a community where I am not representing my party. I am representing all of you. I truly mean that. I think there's been too much division in not only our country and in our state, but also in our community. And we need not to have that anymore. So I pledge to you that I will indeed represent everyone, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Green Party, Libertarians, undesignated, not known, or I can't remember exactly what they're called. there's another party in there that I've forgotten. But this is something that means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Larry. And I want to once again thank you for your service. I hope that we can fulfill the same big shoes. Thank you.
And you forgot the ones who are not registered to vote. There's a lot of them. There's a lot more than they realize. I also want.
Many too many.
I also wanted to say thank you to Barbara for your service and for working. I appreciate working with you over the past couple of years. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. And Cody, Peter, carry on. Keep doing what you do, and you will always have my support. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to thank you for everybody. Thank you. For all you've done. We need to involve in this. All right, motion to adjourn.
Right. It's
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
How do I?
We have to